Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Jessica Smith and I help you simplify home education so you can work wonders in your home. My family just wrapped up our school year and we did exams last week and it went so well. I love doing exam week, and if you want to learn more about what homeschool exams look like and why they can be such an enjoyable experience, I have a video that you might enjoy. Well, we just finished up our school year and I thought it would be good to talk about our year in review, to reflect and talk about what went well, what didn't go well, and what we're going to do differently next year. So the biggest thing that we started out this year doing was family style learning for all of our content-based subjects. And I did this because I had a new baby and I thought I'm going to need to simplify and I need to bring all my kids in and just do everything at once, and then just do language arts and math individually after our family gather time. And this worked well in theory, but then after a bit, I realized it wasn't working so well for our family. I noticed it because my middle son, who's 8, he was not narrating very well after I would read aloud books. So in case you don't know what family style learning would look like, it's me reading aloud history, nature study, geography, literature. I would be reading it out loud to them, they would listen, and then they would narrate afterwards or draw a picture. And I just noticed my 8-year-old was not doing very well at narrating. Now, he's been narrating, or we've been doing school for a couple years now, so he should be able to narrate something. But consistently he was saying, I don't know. And it was no wonder, because while I was reading, he would be talking to his brothers. He'd be listening or distracted by the sound of the Legos. He'd be asking him what they were drawing. He would be going to get a drink. He would be going to get a pencil or sharpening. And my other boys would do the same thing. No matter what I did, I would ask them to go get a drink and go to the bathroom beforehand, gather your materials. There was always interruptions, and this was affecting how much they were learning. So I thought, you know what, I'm just going to try having him read his school books alone and have my oldest read his school books alone in separate rooms so that it was quiet, they could concentrate, and just see if his narrations are any better. And they were so much better. 180-degree turn from what it was before. He would come and tell me almost word for word what had happened, or at least paraphrasing what had happened, in remembering and retaining that later on. So I realized that family style learning did not work well for my individual boys' personalities and their skill sets. He is more of a visual learner. He needs to see the written word. He can't listen to it because of distractions and sounds. So we switched from family style learning to more individual learning, where they would read their history, their nature and science books, and even their geography books and literature, all on their own. I would give them a checklist, and I have a video. It's my 4 notebooks. If you want to see what those daily checklists look like, I would just write down the chapters that they needed to read, and that worked great. Both boys are at a point where they can go look at their checklist. Oh, I need to read this, and then I need to go narrate. I need to do this lesson, and then I need to draw a picture of what I read, or whatever it is. So that worked much better. The other thing that did not work well was CTC Math. Now, it's a great program. It came highly recommended by a lot of homeschool moms. Now, it's the only reason it really didn't work well was because the quizzes they can retake, but the end score is an average of all of the scores that they got after taking it. So if a child got a 75 and then they took it a second time and got 100, it wasn't 100, that wasn't their final score, and that drove my boys crazy. They would go and do their math for the 15 to 20 minutes a day, which I thought they were doing new concepts, and they would just go back and retake the same quizzes over and over again until they got 100. Instead of doing new content, or instead of going back and watching the video, trying to comprehend, trying to understand the concept better before they went and retook it, the reason I did CTC math was so that I didn't have to be so hands-on with their math lessons, but I ended up having to get more involved anyway because they just wanted to do that, or they wanted to play the multiplication mastery game called Shoot 'em Up. And so what I found is that for my boys, CTC math didn't work as well because of the technological distractions, as well as how the quizzes were graded, and that just made a different element for them that just didn't work well with their competitive perfectionist personalities. So with my second son, who's 8 years old, I'm going back to Charlotte Mason Arithmetic Math series in the fall. And I'm doing that anyway with my 6-year-old. I'm going to do it again with my 8-year-old. I think he needs that. I also noticed that he struggled to understand abstract concepts with CTC math. He really needed to use money with dollars, dimes, and pennies standing in for hundreds, tens, and ones when he does 3-digit subtraction and addition, and then also the 2-digit multiplication. He needed to use manipulatives. So we're going to go back to that in the fall. My older son may keep doing CTC math after we explained how it's supposed to work. He also really enjoyed Learn Math Fast, which he did last year, so we may go back to that. The only thing I didn't like with Learn Math Fast is that it was going through things really fast. He needed to kind of spiral back and do some review of past concepts so that he didn't lose that knowledge, those skills. And so I'd have to go through and kind of put something together as a review at the end of every lesson. That took me a little bit of time. So that's the only reason I didn't do Learn Math Fast this year. What went well is the Feast of Subjects and the living books that I chose. The boys really enjoyed the books, and I'm doing a whole series called From My Bookshelves about the books that we read that we've liked, and there's going to be a whole playlist on my channel if you want to check those out. So they really liked the books. That's what they told me. At the end of the school year, I like to have an exit interview and just ask them what they thought went well, what didn't go well, and if they have suggestions for change. Now, I am the parent, I'm the teacher, I'm going to do what I know is best for them, but I like hearing their input, and I like having them problem solve or give some solutions to some problems that they may have. For example, my son said he didn't think dictation went well this year just because he doesn't like dictation. And so we talked about why, and he just doesn't enjoy it. It's a little challenging for him. We talked about why that's good. He understands why he should do it. He just doesn't enjoy it. And so sometimes it's good to talk to your kids about there's things that are difficult that aren't always enjoyable, but it's something we need to do. Some other things that went well was doing geography using documentaries. And I got this idea from a friend, Brittany Cooper, and the geography series that we used this year was Europe from Above, because we did a big trip to Europe. We went to Spain, France, Italy, Greece, and Turkey. And so we watched the episodes on those countries, and we did map drills. And then with the time we had left when we got home, we learned about more countries from Europe. We didn't get to all of them. But I really liked using documentaries for geography because it gives children pictures to keep in their mind. Whereas reading a book, I feel like they're creating their own images of what they think it might look like, which is fine in imaginary books or fictional books or fantasy. But when you watch something that is real, like geography, then they're actually getting the real picture of what that place looks like, and they can keep those in their memory. So I really like doing some map drills and then watching about 10 to 15 minutes of a documentary for geography. So the thing we're going to do differently next year is our math. We're going to go back to Charlotte Mason Arithmetic for my younger boys. We are going to not do family style learning except for artist composer study, scriptures, singing, and recitation. We're going to do the rest of the subjects individually because my boys just do better when they read it on their own. And that is it. I hope this was helpful. I hope your school year went well. I would love to play a fun game with you. In the comments section below, describe your school year with emojis. I would love to see the fun, the interesting, and the joyful ways that you describe your school year. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified when more videos like this come out.